Good day, everyone. Just going through some system checks and that sort of stuff. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Just seeing if Daz is jumping on himself. Have a sip of water. Tonight's stream will be about Combat Patrol and 10th edition. Look at here. Loud and clear. Oh, good. Daz, you jumping on with me, Daz? Yes, please. Yes, jump on in the old StreamYards. Just log into your account. You can jump in, I think. At least I went live on the right on the right stream today, so I'm not having two streams going at once. So we'll just get this sorted out. Sorry, I'm not looking into the camera as much. I'm just trying to organize stuff on the old laptop as well as do this. I am getting better at this sort of technical stuff. Better. It's still not great, but it's getting better. I suppose we should entertain everyone while we're waiting for stuff to get started on the old water tonight. Don't normally go live on a Monday night. Not that I would go live on any night at the moment because I just restarted up the channel and that sort of thing, doing live streams, but trying to work out what works out best for me and that sort of thing. Okay. Do a bit of sharing around. I think, yep, Combat Patrol First Impressions, the title is right and that sort of stuff. Oh, I see Mr. Taz is joining me backstage. Oh,
hello.
He's brought himself in. G'day, how you going?
Well, for some reason it's on my StreamYard, so it looks like I can do all the stuff.
Yeah, so I've got two email addresses. I've got my Gmail and my Internode one, and I load up my Internode email address, and I was already on here as an ad. No, I'm the admin, so you must have linked it to your account instead of to mine account.
I don't know, but I didn't realise I was jumping on tonight, so you've caught me completely out here.
Oh, I thought I'd get you on here and talk about your experience.
Okay.
Game yesterday.
Oh, that's all good. That's all good. I'm happy to join you. I'll
Surfy water.
I'll just make myself a little bit small at the moment. I went and got a 4X0, so.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, for something different. So I don't know how many people will come on a 6 o'clock on a Monday night. It's a tea time for most people, but
yeah, no, it's a bit of a weird time, I think, but
yeah, well,
it's also more about having like the stream up for people to watch later that we can discuss.
Yeah.
But as usual, sort of gets a few little bits and bobs sort of get in the way, and then you spend the first half of the stream just trying to sort out difficulties.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it is. I'll probably share what I can remember. I think towards the end I was starting to lose track of things a little bit, so
yeah, it can become a bit of a grind. Even a small game like that, it can be hard to keep track of, especially if you're not used to the basics and that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I think I might have missed probably some opportunities with the CP and probably obviously missed some opportunities with the troops moving, and potentially I think I may have even missed resurrecting some zombies, but I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. We won't give away the exact ending of the video because it hasn't gone up yet. I was hoping to get
no. I won't go into specifics, but
it was going to take like an hour and a half just to once it actually finally uploaded after I've rendered it to actually process properly.
Yeah, YouTube videos seem to be taking longer to process these days, but it is what it is.
It is very true. You can't change things you can't change. No.
Yeah, well, I wanted to get the...
Can't change.
Correct. Well, that too.
Yes.
And I wanted to get the Zinger Stacker Burger out last night, but I'll put us back together. But it was taking like 2.5 hours to upload that, and that was only like 1.5 gig or something like that. So I might publish that tonight.
Oh, yep, sounds good.
I did give G a sneak peek. I was trying to only a picture of it. It looks like you were in love with your burger the way you were looking at it.
I was in love with that burger. I definitely was.
Hello, Jonesy.
Yes, Jonesy was supposed to do some gaming talk, but I caught Daz off guard and a few things got in the way. But yeah.
Yes. This is kind of interesting how this StreamYards works. So maybe because I added you into as an admin or something, that's why it's letting us do this, which is good, because if you do it this way, then like when you're with talking your little men with Lewis and G and that, I can just sit here and like be like a back director or something, you know, when you get your squillions of subscribers and
like well, actually,
and viewers and that.
By the looks of it.
There is no. I think people on my channel are confused enough as it is with us, let alone throwing in some 40K. Yeah, very much so. It was actually funny because KFC had their, I can't remember what it was, the $5 Zinger Crunch Wrap between 3 and 5. So I didn't get lunch till like 4:15 because we just had one of those days, like you do. So I thought, bugger it, I was going to get some sushi, and then I thought, no, I'll get the $5 Zinger Crunch Burger, and I'll give the burger to Mrs. Taz. But so anyway, I was standing in line, and then like someone walks up and goes, "Hey, Taz!" in the middle of Northgate, which was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yes, Jonesy, definitely. So yeah, that was kind of funny. And then I got home right, and so I ate the chips because I was a little bit hungry and had the Pepsi on the way home. And then I said, said to Mrs. Taz, do you want the burger? And she's like, yeah, okay, put it in the fridge for me. So I pick it up and like lift it up from the bottom, and the bottom of the bag was completely soaked.
Oh, from the coleslaw?
No, like the bag.
Oh.
So the bottom of the bag was soaked. The bottom of the wrapper on the burger was soaked. But the seat and that in the car wasn't. So I don't know what they did, but they were piss farting around and opening up the wrapper at someone's burger and looking to see what it was. And anyway. So far we've had 0 40K talk.
No, we have not much 40K talk. No, it's sort of hard because I got to dismantle my setup and put it back together. It's like things look okay in StreamYards, but it's like, is it actually working? I don't know. But I hope you can hear me and see me all right. But so 40K comment, which I'm actually quite excited about it.
Yes,
it was really fun.
Yes, I had no idea what was happening at the start, and
Yeah.
I think by the end of it, I remembered the name of most of the units, so I think that was a pretty good feat.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's good to be able to teach you the full rules, but without all the complicated extra stuff you could do.
Yeah, well, I think I've downloaded the rules onto my computer in like the PDF, and so I've heard of some of the sayings, but like just obviously things are completely different to what I was used to with Warhammer Fantasy, and not having played that for a good 15, 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Poor old Jonesy being in Launceston.
Yeah. Condolences, Jonesy. But at least you get nothing's changed. Like you roll the hit, you roll the win, you roll the save. That's been around since forever. So the core's always been there.
It's all these feel no pains and a lot of there was a lot of modifiers in Fantasy Battle at some stage, but some of it was very familiar with, like, obviously I think it's newer in 10th edition where your characters have to join into like a unit, like with Typhus being in a unit of poxbearers or whatever they are.
Yeah, poxwalkers. That's very, very new. I think it was around maybe in 6th and 7th edition, which I didn't play, but then it came back all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Jonesy should be doing the food reviews. He should have done one in Lonnie, and now he could do one in Queenstown tomorrow. Getting around indeed there, mate.
The old Dirty Double's a good burger.
Oh, that's from wherever it is in Launceston.
Burger Junkie, I think.
Yep. One day we'll do our little road trip. Yeah, I know.
We've got Funkin', we've got Hyper 7, we've got Rolf, we've got Tazdaz, that sort of stuff. It's hard to stay on track on one channel.
Yes. But, kind of interesting. Definitely very different with you recording, so
yes,
I can only imagine.
In like a year.
Yeah, I think the rust definitely needs to be scraped off the surface for both of us, but but it's all good. Had a sneak peek at the Leviathan set, which looks pretty darn impressive.
Yeah,
crazy good. Can definitely tell that the models have come a long way from when I used to buy them. Like, I think when I first started, they were all metal, so I don't think you get metal ones much anymore.
No, and I remember you got the old cardboard cutout Dreadnought and the cardboard cutout, buddy.
I think there was like some kind of. I think they had one of them. I think had like a high elf lord on a dragon, and then there was like a bolt thrower or something, and then the orc side had a orc war boss or something on a wyvern or but at least yeah. Even back then, like things weren't cheap, so if
oh god no.
I don't think Games Workshop's all that expensive in relative, like everyone complains about it, but I guess that's fair enough. But like if you look at a $200 model and you spend like a good amount of time on painting it and you use it for several years, and definitely you get the resale value back on it in some way or another anyway. So
exactly right.
I think overall, like that little part of the market is not that bad in hindsight. If you go and look at some of the things you can go and spend your money on and have nothing to show for it at the end of the day, at least with 40K and that you've got your models, so there's always something there for you to resell.
Well, even going go-karting, it's like $90 for 2 hours unlimited races. They get about 5 races, but then that's $90 you'll never get back.
Yep.
Just completely gone.
Hi.
I've got unruly pussy.
Yes, he's middle of winter and it's freezing cold. I think it's like 2 degrees up here at the moment.
Oh, bloody hell. Luckily, I'm in the old spare bedroom, not in the garage, so it's not too bad in here.
Oh, I could only imagine what it'd be like in the garage at the moment. But we've got Kai, the prince of furriness. You might even hear him bloody purring.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can actually hear him purring a little bit.
Yes, there you go, Coity. Say hello. And he's got a big ass piece of bloody grass on him.
Oh dear.
Jesus, cat.
Well, what we should probably do, we could. We're going to have a bit of a chat about
look out. D10 attacks. Strength 25.
Big Tyranid monster. So we do like a chat for about 20 minutes, and then we can
Oh Jesus, he attacked me.
Does it surprise me? Get him all rolled up like that. So we can just talk for a little bit, and we can cut it down to an actual video.
Just leave it up as it is. Bugger it. So, shameless plug for my channel.
Plug. I got my old epic.
Yes, Jonesy.
But yeah, so actually, even though Combat Patrol is only I think it's about 500 points roughly, a little bit less.
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
It actually felt like an actual proper game of 40k, and it was because they had the smaller board size, even though it was a little bit bigger than it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and like you said yesterday, the first turn's pretty much just getting yourself a bit set up and working out where you're going to go for. Hey, Roger.
Yeah.
The thing I found really different though about 40k, say compared to something like Fantasy Battles, and that is Fantasy Battles was very much just get in, kill each other, and see what survives, whereas 40k seems very focused on objectives and getting points versus I don't know, if you went in and just obliterated an army, I guess at the end of the day you're probably still going to win anyway because you've got all the points. But combat seems a little bit less of a focus, and it's a little bit more strategical, positioning your troops not only so that they're protected and they're, all getting into a position where they can attack, but they're also in a position where they're going to strategically, win in the long game. It's not
exactly.
Get in there, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and she's all over Red Rover. And I think that side of it's really interesting to me because you've definitely got to think and plan more long game.
Exactly.
It almost feels more like a kind of in a way, kind of like a chessboard, you remember old battle chess.
Oh yes.
You've still got your maneuvers and that, and you've got your combat, but just positioning and I think with me, the setup, I had no idea what I was doing and where I was positioning my troops and, really what they did and that. So they probably weren't in the ideal positions. And if you got a veteran 40k player that came on and looked at our game, they'd probably pick it to shit and find a million different things wrong with it.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But that's what some people are interested in. And me personally, I could give a shit whether I win or lose, as long as I'm having a bit of fun along the way. That's all that matters to me. So,
and I can chop some stuff up. So it's
it was. Yeah, well, we can't, as you said, give away too much, but he did quite well, I think, and obviously a lot of the game is still very dependent on your dice rolls. I know I got pretty unlucky with with, like getting 20 attacks and then only getting a handful of like hits and less than that in wounds and that. No. And then the next thing you're rolling to do something else and you get amazing dice. So,
it definitely comes around.
But then I guess if you kind of plan yourself around those kind of things, you can, take into account, the good and bad dice. So it's definitely very different to what I was used to playing back in the day with fantasy battles. So it's something I could definitely play a bit more. I'm still undecided as to whether it will be something that I would financially invest in, and that's purely because that's me, and I'm a bit of a slacker when it comes to painting and
it's a big
that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is. Look, if I was gonna invest any money at this stage, I'd probably just look at one of those Combat Patrol boxes anyway, because it's like looks like they're pretty much set up and play and a good base to start out with. But I actually went on to the Games Workshop website last night, and the Combat Patrol, they don't have one like for Tyranids at the moment, so obviously they've got their Leviathan box instead.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, actually, speaking of that, I actually built and undercoated the Leviathan Combat Patrol that you actually is in the book.
Oh, cool.
So I've got the Tyranids built in prime, so it's got to get a bit of paint on them. And so, like I said, I've got plenty of armies you can use. You don't have to worry about investing money in your own.
Yeah. But it's it wasn't too difficult to grasp the basics, and I think, as you said yesterday, it's with the Combat Patrols, they're just like a quick game and not a lot of the whatever, I don't know what you call them, like all the extra things you can throw at them, like equipment and I don't know. I really don't know what I'm talking about in that, but it's like a cut down version. So at least they've kind of made it easier and more accessible, which they definitely needed to.
Well, I think you had about 4 or 5 pages of rules for the Death Guards. That's like, instead of having like a 200-page codex of fluff and stratagems and upgrades and stuff, it's really, really good. And
see, when you start talking stratagems and that's when I start losing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not understanding exactly what's going on. So, and I think the other
part-time players, they gave up because, like you said, stratagems and stuff were just too much. Even if they played like once a fortnight or once a month, it was too hard to keep up with it all.
Yeah, and I guess the other bonus is like they've realised that I think the way that I look at it is that they're kind of trying to broaden their appeal to people.
Yeah.
You're only going to get a certain amount of people that'll be into it if it's very niche or very inaccessible. So I think the fact that they've put all these index cards out as PDF files, they've got the core rules out as a PDF file, at least people can get in and have a look and, like me, grab a mate's models and give it a game and see what they think.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
So it seems to me like 10th edition is a lot about accessibility. I don't know, obviously, anything about the competitive side of it and how that works and all the nitty-gritty balancing and points and all that kind of stuff. So as a layman coming in and having a game, it was fun, it was interesting, it was a lot of learning, and I think if you played 1 or 2 games, you'd know by the end of that whether it's going to be something you'd be interested in or something that you would like to, throw a few dollars at.
And especially when you're not recording and you're just playing. And we probably would have done it in about a third of the time we did it in, but when you're stopping and talking to the camera and starting the camera up and stuff, it does take a bit of extra time. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Most definitely.
Just compared to how, like when we played that game ages ago, it was like I had to balance the armies myself, try to make it not too complicated then. But this is all done for
Yep.
you. And it was like playing a mini game of 40K. Like I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything because, I play a fair bit.
Yeah.
Still felt like, yeah.
Yeah, you had the core stuff there without all the nitty picky tournament kind of probably focused and based. Like I'd hate to think what it'd be like to get out there and play like a 2,000-3,000 point game. It'd just be just keeping track of it all and just setting it up and it'd just be nuts.
It is, and you start an army, you go, I'm playing this army, and you get your army sorted out, and then you play about 3 or 4 games, and you're thinking, I could have done that, I could have done this. I think it was like about 30 stratagems per army in 9th edition. Like you only used probably about a third of them, and then you just because there was so much information, it was hard to sort of focus in what you actually needed at the
Thanks,
time.
Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah. So it's hard to kind of obviously talk too much about it because you've got the battle report that's going to come out.
Yeah.
The thing that I found interesting was like the fact that there was so much mucking around from us and you doing the filming and then reading your PDFs and that. Yeah. And then like you sent me a message last night and I said, how long was the game for? And you said like the video was of the game and you said like an hour and it was like, what?
Yeah.
So
I thought it might have been a quicker process and a quicker video, but really when you do film, even if you're playing a big game, you cut out a lot of the stuff anyway. So you're probably filming about instead of shooting 5 units, you're shooting 7 units. So it's not too much actual difference in time, but
Yeah, so it'd probably be like for a couple of fairly cluey 40K players, it'd probably be like maybe a 30 or 40 minute battle, which is pretty good because like if you got a few mates together and had 2 or 3 tables set up, you could have like a really good tournament in a night.
Well, Louis and I are hopefully going to be playing a best of 3, like a combat patrol game. We don't know what army's going to use and stuff, so we're going to try to do that for the channel. But you said, you can have like a miniature tournament at a mate's house, and you could have a few friends around just for an evening, and really good fun.
Few bubblies and a few non-alcoholic 4Xs.
And also,
but it'd also be.
Oh, you go.
No, you're right.
I was going to say, and also because I was also trying to like remember rules of 2 armies and trying to cut between 2 PDFs. If you've got it all printed out, it's just like you have like your 2 pages in front of you, and you don't. There's not much mucking around like searching for.
You definitely had your work cut out for you yesterday. Teaching me who'd played one game beforehand like a year ago, which was completely different, and all I remember is throwing a lot of dice and killing a lot of stuff.
And that's the thing. I feel like there's no point me actually teaching you because I was like, I'll just do everything for you because it's too hard. Not because you can't understand it, but it was like, the amount of time invested would have just been ridiculous. Yeah,
so definitely felt a lot more streamlined and a lot less confusing. And I think, like, maybe I don't know if they have or not, but they maybe have cut down on like the terminology and a few of the specific rules, but that's probably also because it was a combat patrol one. So I was just thinking, like, if you had like 6 armies and you just all like, at the start of a game, just roll a dice and you'd get like a random army, and then the other person would roll a dice and get a random army. You can have some real fun with that.
Oh god, yeah, and it doesn't take long to build and paint a combat patrol. Well, some armies will take a bit longer than others, but
yeah, they're between about 10 and 20 models all up.
Yeah, especially get something like Custodes, where it's like I think it's about 10 models for the Custodes army.
Yep. Yeah, and that's not a lot of painting. You could just slap on a couple of colours here and there and have something that's passable. Yeah, like Jesus, I remember back in the day when I was playing Warhammer Fantasy, I don't think anything was painted. We just played the game to play it.
Yeah, I think there's a bit more peer pressure. It's not a massive amount of pressure to get painted, but yeah, you feel like all the YouTube videos and Instagrams and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, with you doing 40K content, it'd be, the first thing someone would pick up on was like, oh God, there's an unpainted model that shouldn't be allowed on the table.
Yeah, that's the hard part about doing content. It's like, ask someone if they want a game, and it's like, oh, I've got my models fan. It's like, can't really do it then.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest thing that would probably stop me from investing money or too much money into the game would be the painting side of it. Like, I love the idea of painting, and you look at the ones that Games Workshop have done and how amazing they look.
Yeah.
But all I know is I probably never get to their level, and it's really hard for me to even understand what bloody colours are, let alone mixing different shades and shit. I'd be spraying a undercoat on them, and that'd be it for me.
Yeah, that's the problem with your colour blindness. It'd be very hard to sort of judge what works and what doesn't work. But yeah, I think you don't like Space Marines. You told me that before. That's they're like the easiest army.
Yeah, and there's so many bloody of them. Look, the stuff looks all right. It's very what's the word? Not steampunk, but it's obviously very in line with what you would expect a futuristic, heavy armored kind of army to be. But I'm more like, even with with Warhammer Fantasy, I think my favourite army was always the Lizardmen, and I loved the look of the Lizardmen and the big Kroxigors with their huge two-handed weapons. And then you had I can't remember what he was, but the guy that was on the big toad that was on his
the Slan,
the Slan, he'd been carried around by some of the others. So that side of it is probably I'd probably look at something like Tyranids or something like that. For some reason, I've never really been into armies that are human. Like, my other army was High Elf. That was probably my main one. And Wood Elves as well. I've still got in just right behind me here. Hold on. Someone's been in here and moved everything around again. So I'll go to work. I've still got that.
Oh, yeah.
That you gave me.
God, that was a while ago.
So, yeah. And that was always an army that I wanted to get into, because I just love... Yeah. Where is he? I'll see if I can find him.
Yes, old Aiden likes his Nids as well. We had a few good battles, the old Necrons versus Tyranids against Aiden.
Yeah, they've definitely gone all out with the Tyranids in this one. So
yeah,
I know they've got a lot of models to come out as well. So not everything, I don't think, has been released yet.
No, that's the big campaign they're doing. The Space Marines versus Tyranids, and whoever wins gets their models not released first, but revealed first, or something like that. So a small little bonus there.
You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go to bed tonight and start reading this book again.
Nothing wrong with that. I kind of miss physical books, but I don't know, just too annoying to have around. It's like,
there he is.
I like having him.
Hold on. I'll just make myself. I'll chuck myself over there. There we are. The big tree ant.
Ah, yes. So cool.
Yeah,
So you never know.
he's
With
wicked.
Old World coming out soon, we might get some Old World action going on the channel, but I don't reckon I'll ever get into AOS.
Age of Sigma, no, definitely doesn't appeal to me. Now, I did see, like, I'll put you back over onto the right there.
Oh, no, whatever.
Yeah, the Leviathan Hive Fleet. I was commenting on. Oh, I can't remember. G was commenting about something, and I said to G, I said I did have a look at the Leviathan box set, and I did think about sticking it under my T-shirt, but I think Rolfus would have noticed. It was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge.
It's a big box. No, you're always welcome to use the Tyranids, that's for sure.
I don't know what that means, Aiden. Rolfus might know what that means, but the Vampires of the Coast. I'll bring it up on the screen for you.
I think it was vampires in Old World. So
okay.
Vampires. Yeah. I don't
I was
got a time period.
Was pretty excited when somebody did mention something about the Old World, about Chaos Dwarves might be back in it.
I so miss my Chaos Dwarf army. It was so much fun.
I kind of forgotten how much into fantasy battles you were. Like, you had the Dark Elves, and I think you had did you have the big cauldron for it?
No, I never had the actual cauldron. Well, no.
Or was it a...
But yeah, we used to play just all day. Like, used to go to my mate's house at Bellreeve. We would play for like 12 hours easily.
Mm.
And we'd always have like big games, like 4 people versus 4 people, and just have a massive like table. So good.
Does height go relative to anger and spite?
Oh, yes.
But you clicked it on the same time.
Yeah, so they actually went to a really good home though, so I'm glad I did sell them to the person I sold them to. But yeah,
okay.
House Dwarves. Yeah.
Yes, I don't think I ever really played when they became a thing, because they were kind of like later into the fantasy battles kind of era.
Yeah, they were strange. They sort of made the models, but they never really supported them. They had like an index sort of thing for a little while, but then they just completely stopped.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Bull Centaurs are my favourite.
Oh, yes, I do remember them. There was some, like, for the time, there were some pretty bloody wicked models.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do have to admit that looking at those Leviathan ones, you can definitely see they're a lot more detailed.
Oh, yes. Massively.
And I like that comment there. Aiden says, reckons I should teach you what for. Well, you might see if I did teach him what for with the Death Guard. Did play Rolfus yesterday. Entirely up to you. As I said, I'm going to probably put out the triple stacker one, which is completely unrelated to 40k. You're gonna love the title of it.
I don't want to
Rolfus. I'll give you a sneak peek. It's called KFC Triple Stacker Burger. Is this love that I'm feeling?
I think it was.
I think you were. I think if you looked at Mrs. Rolfus like you looked at your triple stacker, I think she'd be a happy young lady.
Oh, I do love the lady. Yes. It was just a good day because we had our lunch. Like if you remove all the filming stuff out of it, we had our lunch. We had a good game of 40k. We had we just turned up. Like we didn't worry about what we were taking. We always had.
I didn't know what we were taking.
No,
I just turned up and started learning the name of the units, and
exactly.
I still don't remember what they all did because I was still a bit confused because, as I said, like 40k previously, what I remember of it, like your characters and that used to be always kind of separate, but now that they're integrated into a unit and you've got to obviously work out like your attacks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. which is also
okay.
new for me because the last 2 editions you had your characters just ran around and they just buffed stuff around them instead of joining units.
Yep. Yep. And obviously, like being a combat patrol, there were, I hear of these things like deep strike and other stuff.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a lot more rules that are out there that we didn't even get into. So
because every patrol had like 2 options for enhancements, so you could have actually deep striked in Typhus and his Poxwalkers, but it'd just be easier if you just had him on the board, and you could choose between deep striking or bringing zombies back.
Yeah.
So you kept.
I would always have chosen the zombies coming back anyway.
So
Bugger stealth and that.
Patrol, and you have a choice of enhancements. You've got 2 enhancements you can choose from, and you've got 2 secondaries. So you've got a little bit of choice, but not a huge amount, like just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a question on that, like with the combat patrol boxes, is that like just a setup ready to go, kind of put it together and off you go and play a game kind of thing, is it?
It is now. Like they brought them out late in 9th edition. And it was supposed to be like, this is your little starter set to your bigger army.
Yeah.
But then, because before they had like just a start collecting, so you had like a HQ, a couple of troops, but you couldn't really play a game with them.
Okay, yep.
But now in 10th edition, they actually set box sets. So you download the rules for them, so you can just play a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really, really clever and really a needed thing that Games Workshop put a lot of the stuff out there for free download. So as I said, you're always going to have your veterans playing, but there's, if you're going to put a $200+ price tag on even just trying to play one bloody game, like I'm sure Ben's probably still got his box set sitting up in the cupboard unopened or something.
No, I can see some models that would have fallen on the ground in his cupboard.
Oh, okay.
And that's the thing too. Like, if you wanted to play like even a 1,000-point game, you'd need probably 2 combat patrol boxes plus another couple of bits and bobs. But then you buy it and you think, I don't really want to use those anymore. At least this way I could buy 1 box, have a game, and then
Yep.
It has been a thing I was just going to say, it's been a thing in the last few editions where you had like a 500-point game, a 1,000-point game, but people would just always take like stupid stuff like Abaddon and like a Dreadnought as an army, and they'll be like their 500-point army. So it's not really a game.
No, Jesus.
They just like try to break it as much as possible, like people do when you try to play.
Well, yeah, and that's fair enough. Things deserve to be broken, and I'm sure, over time with 10th edition out now that they'll,
it was broken
update things.
It started, like, people just pick apart stuff so quickly and like pour over every combination that they find the best thing within the hours of
Yes, there'll be those people that will get there and spreadsheet everything and work out the best value per point and this and that, and that's what the game needs. It needs those people. It needs the people that can just jump in and have a quick game. And,
exactly right.
And the people that just want to get there and paint a nice looking model.
Yeah, exactly. And read the lore. Like there's so many books and stuff, and pick apart the lore and that sort of stuff. Oh, yes. Yes, playing Necrons at the moment in a proper game of 40k is pretty rough for the opponent, so they just don't die.
Yes. We found out a little bit about what the Necrons were capable of, but then we also had on the other side of it, what were they, the Poxwalkers or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool that they have like their own like you said, the lore, and they've got their own background, and what's that one he said, watch 2 quite seasoned players coming to a grinding halt and ultimately lose.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Oh, good on you, caveman.
Hey, caveman.
Well, we might be, but probably not. Not tonight.
No.
That's on our other live streams where we start talking about that.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm probably going to have to disappear now.
Yeah. No. Well,
as I said,
about stuff.
I didn't even realise I was jumping on this live stream, so I was completely unprepared.
I thought I asked you yesterday, but I must have forgotten.
You did not ask me yesterday at all.
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Rolfus hopefully will do a few more live streams. I know I was actually going through your videos the other day, and there was one where you were painting some Tyranids a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Gene Stealers they were, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I might do. Like, I got the Combat Patrol spray painted. I might even go now and just like do the wash on the flesh, and then I might do a bit of painting at some point.
Yep. Yeah.
I just want to keep these sort of live streams short and punchy, like under an hour long, just where we had to talk about a topic. I've got one of the guys who runs tournaments, James, who might jump on with me during the week, and we'll do a live stream just talking about.
Yeah. I got to admit, I really did enjoy the one with you and G and Lewis the other day. That was a really good one.
Yeah, that was quite good. And Louis wants to talk about some stuff as well, so got some people.
I can imagine that guy could probably speak for years about Warhammer.
Oh yes, he could. He
seems
a lot more than I do.
Yeah, he's pretty knowledgeable and very seems very passionate. So it's complete opposite of. Well, I'm a little bit passionate, but I'm not knowledgeable at all. So
yeah,
he's like my yang.
Yeah, I'm like on the surface, and he's like drilling right down into every little thing, and that's
yeah. So
you can do.
Just before I go, I was going to ask: does he play a lot of tourneys, or like more like professional, or is he?
Yeah, well, he played on the Tasmanian team. They went over
a
while ago to Queensland, I think it was, and
right.
But he spends a lot more time on the theory side of actually how things work together and that sort of stuff. Whereas I like just getting an army out and having a game, and like I do try to be a bit competitive, but I don't like go too deep.
You're definitely more like me. You just want to get in there and get the action happening and mow things down and
there's been
have a bit of fun.
I've almost won a tournament. Like I got to the top table and just didn't quite win, but there's been times where I've been on the bottom table. I'll just put something together I think is pretty cool, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it's like, what can you do?
Oh, Roger's in there calling everyone legends, and Caveman's a legend, and Roger's a legend. Everyone's a legend. We're all legends on this in this channel. You'll have to answer that one there, Rolfus.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me now, Aiden, because Scorpex are pretty average now. They were pretty much the cream of the crop in 9th edition. And as usual, GW takes all the good stuff that's good in the previous edition and makes it bad, so they sell it.
Yes, everyone here is a bloody legend, exactly. Aiden. Yeah.
But that's like the Necrons have got such a big collection that if something becomes crap, I've got the thing next to it that's good now because it was bad before, so yeah.
Yeah, I'll make you bigger because you're more the focus, but I guess, of course you are. Look at you young, strapping young lad.
Got some weird perspective going on in this room at the moment. The window behind me is very small, but it's actually quite big.
I thought it was the door, but it's actually a window. Obviously, it's got a blind in there. Yeah, okay. Yeah. What was that? It was all in 9th edition against you, Rolfus.
Pretty much. 9th made it very hard for me to keep passionate about the game. It was fun, but it was just, just too many times you'd rock up and one person would just win first turn, and it was just getting a bit silly.
Yes, I will admit from what I remember of 9th versus 10, it is definitely feels a little bit different to me. So whether that was just me not focusing on before, because I think with I don't know, is there more emphasis on what are those things where you put down your little circly thing and your objectives and that in 10th, or is that still kind of the same as 9th?
That's very similar to 9th.
Okay, yep.
But in 9th edition, even though we played a stripped back version, but the full version, 9th edition is more fluid with tactics and objectives, whereas in 9th edition, you built your army to do a certain thing, and they did that as best as possible.
Well, I remember when you built that army for me in 9th edition, it was what, storm hammers or something, and all it was big hammers and lots of things dying, and Daz was very, very happy about that.
Yes.
I know I did whoop your butt in that game, so...
you did.
And now it seems like those poor little Space Wolves are little space cubs now.
Yes, it looks
from
like
what I've heard.
They might do okay overall, but just they have the same feel, like running in with a big wolf with a big hammer and smacking stuff around the back of the head. It's a bit more, not quite the same.
No, and the overall feel of the game feels like it's not designed to do that anyway.
No, it's definitely designed to be a sort of blunted a little bit. It's still a few cases where like something will just wipe something out without thinking about it, which I'm sure they'll tone back. But a lot more back and forth, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's good. And Aiden said something about 9th was solid, but there seemed to be one and the same lists appearing for each faction.
Exactly, and that's where people are complaining that the additional has been made too simple. But then it's like, well, everyone's just taking the same thing because even though you've got 20 options, there's that one option which is the best out of all of them. So there's no point having the other 19.
I don't think it matters what you do in life, whether you're playing MMO or you're playing Diablo 4 or you're playing Clash Royale or bloody probably what's that stupid gem game, whatever it is, Candy Crush or whatever. There's always going to be some kind of perfect way to do it. There's always going to be a meta. Someone's going to find the optimal points distribution or whatever, and that's just going to be part of it. So exactly, I don't think no matter what you do and how much you balance it and how much you change it, there's always going to be somebody that's going to find that one little optimal thing, and it might take not much to make it more optimal than something else, but it will be found.
But when you've got so many people looking at the same thing, like, you're going to find it eventually.
Yeah, of course, and there'd be people that's they're not necessarily interested in, going out and playing a tournament game. They're more interested in breaking the game. So, which isn't a bad thing, because the game needs that, because the game won't evolve if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
I guess the way that Games Workshop have got to kind of look at it is, how do they react and how do they change it, and how do they make it more fluid that they can do these updates? Because, obviously with everything being printed and in hard copy, you just can't, change everybody's hard copy around the world. It's always going to be printed that way. So,
well, that's why last edition they brought out like a balance every 6 months. No, 3 months was like a balance update, and it was like 6 months was a point update.
Yeah.
And something was like too bad.
Yeah. And I guess if they can, I noticed they've got I think an app and that as well. So that also makes it a lot easier. And, for me, if I'd have downloaded the app and had that, it probably would have, increased lessened the downtime that we had.
Yeah.
But it's the same with anything. It's like, how does an MMO react? How will Blizzard react to, a broken meta if you get one particular character that's going to be tough, because everybody's going to find that optimum build and everybody's going to find that optimum army. And it's just, how will Games Workshop react to everything? And I don't know what their past history is like, and I've never been a big follower of them until, like Nathan mentioned, 10th edition, or Rolfus, Nathan, whatever. Fuck. Oops, I just swore, sorry.
Oh,
family friendly.
Okay. No, it's all good.
But it's they seem to be pretty what's the word? They seem to be a lot more open from what I can tell and what people are saying, and hopefully they got a bit more fluidity in what they can do to the game. So
yeah, they're definitely trying to be a bit more fluid.
And so they should be, because you just don't throw out a game and let it die because it's completely unbalanced. So
yeah.
And it's not like, as I said before, like moving to electronic makes it easier, because it's not like a computer game where you can just tweak some stuff in the background and things are different.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, very happy with the game that I played with Rollfish yesterday. Definitely, we probably had, this is probably going to sound a terrible saying, but we probably had more rust yesterday than the bloody Titanic does, and RIP the poor people that went down there and didn't come back. But anyway, that was, I don't know, that was a bit of a weird segue.
It was a bit, when I was doing the editing, it was a bit, I was like a bit, that angle's not too good and that's what, but we'll get better.
It is what it is. We are definitely not professionals on either of our channels. Especially when it comes to my live streams. I've been, I think, very, what's the word? I've been very on point tonight.
You have been. You've been very good. Very, very well.
I haven't strayed too far from the subject, and that's the way it should be for your channel. We can do all the shit talking on mine. But anyway, I'm definitely going to head off now. We're nearly hit the 1 hour mark. So thank you, Rolfus, for giving me 5 minutes warning before you go live that I'm actually going to be on it, because I had no bloody idea. My microphone wasn't set up. I wasn't even planning on doing this, but we've done it.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me, and thank you to all the people that have watched us. And I'll hand it over to that guy over there, which I can never, ever get the finger right. There we are. Got it right. Oh. And he can wrap up. So I probably spoke a lot of shit, but that's me.
That's all right. That's all good. It's weird to have a chat. All right. Well, catch you later, Daz.
All righty. I shall remove myself from the stream.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's just me. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. And like we were talking, we eventually got to the topic. But Combat Patrol is really good fun. Even though it's only a small game, it still felt like a full game of 40K. It's a few less rules and a few less models and a few less headaches. But thanks for watching the stream. And don't forget, you can get your GW products from gapgames.com.au // I don't know, whichever one it is. And use Rolfus, and you can use my affiliate link. It should be in the description below if I set things up right, which I don't always do. Also, like the stream, subscribe if you're new, all that sort of great stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. And I'm going to head off now and press the button, I think. Bye. See you, Daz. You can't see Daz waving, but he's waving. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, I got to press twice.